Hi everybody, Steve Elliott here. What I wanted to do today is look at layers in Artrage. Now, I've chosen Artrage because I've done a few demos in Artrage before, so I thought I'd stick with that. This will work for any application that uses layers like Procreate and so on. And I'm doing it because one or two people have asked me questions about layers and, they're not really sure how to go on with them. So this is for absolute beginners. So if you're new to, if you're familiar with layers, you might not find this interesting at all. So I apologize for that, but this is for those that are absolute beginners getting into digital painting and want to know what layers is all about. So in Artrage, if I click on View, I will see a layer panel, and if it's not switched on, you can go to View and click on that, and it will, or you can press Shift A, and this is it here. This is the layers panel, and we are on layer 1, and I'm using Artrage not how I normally do. This is sort of a default setting in the classic mode, and I've got lights out. So this is sort of out the box type affair. So if I want to just choose a sort of a normal round brush, I'm going to make something up. I'm going to begin with painting a sky. And this is, it really is a really quick painting. What I want to do now is put in another layer. So I click on plus and I get layer 2. I can name these layers as well. Yeah, double click on it, put out sky. And what I want to do now is paint in some distant hills. So that's my second layer with some distant hills in. I'm going to create another layer. I'm not going to name all of these now. I'm going to change the colour slightly and make it a little bit more green. There we are, and another layer. So now my fourth layer. I'm just using the default colours that are available on my palette. I don't know if I've made that palette up or if they're default ones. So you could paint these all on one layer, really. There's nothing to, you might be thinking, why are you even bothering? Why are you using different layers? And it's a good question. You could paint all of these on one layer, but the reason why I'm doing it will probably come clear in a minute or two. So there's some sort of distant hills. I think I'll put a bit of water in here as well. I'm going to create another layer. Now I've got 5 layers. So the first thing is, I want to say is that I can, there we are, bit of a kind of a mountain scene. I can hide layers. So if I want to turn off that distant layer, I can make it invisible by clicking on the eye. Oh, perhaps I should just go back into the sky there and just put a bit of that in. You notice I'm painting on the layer behind now, and it doesn't affect the layers in front of it. So that means if I paint a figure or something, I can work on the background behind it. So, visibility, I can hide layers. And I can also change the order of layers. So, I better not move the sky. Or layer 2. Let's move layer 1 behind there. So, all of a sudden, the foreground mounting is the one on the left. I'll move it back again. It'll be, oh, I moved it too far. I meant to move it up. It'll be the one on the right. So you can move the order of layers just by clicking and dragging. So that's another nice feature. And maybe I might be thinking that distant layer, the distant mounting, is too dark, so I can change the opacity. You can see the sky is glowing through a little bit there, and I can do the same on the second one, the mountain on the left, and change the opacity of that as well. So let's put a boat in on my scene. So I'm going back to the top layer, the water layer, and creating a new layer. Let's change my brush size slightly. Let's put a little boat in here. What colour shall I use? Let's go with that. Put a little man in it. Maybe a sail. Now, you might think, oh, that's okay, but I don't want a boat that big. So, I right click on this, transform layer contents, and from here I can now move my boat around, just move that out of the way, and I can resize it. So I can put it in a suitable position, like that. Click the tick. My boat is now there, and I can go back into my water layer, and I can just put in some reflections. And not actually paint over the boat. So, can I duplicate a layer? Let's find out. I'm going to call this layer boat. Okay, and right click on that. Duplicate layer. There we go. Once I've duplicated the layer, my boat copy, I can choose transform layer contents. Whoops. And now I can have another boat. There we are. And I can go back to my water layer again and put the reflection in there. So that is how to use layers. Very, very quick demo. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give me a thumbs up. It helps me out a lot and it's much appreciated. And also, if you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing. I have lots more videos all about digital painting and I would love to be sharing them with you. So hopefully, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.